What's up everyone, this is FP Sticks bringing you some more Go Battle League battles here in the Kanto Cup. In today's video, I ran two different teams that kind of have some slightly more off-meta Pokemon. This first team that you're seeing, Lapras, Mew, and then Zapdos in the back is my little added spice for this team. I really wanted to try Zapdos as like potentially a safe swap or a closer. The problem is that Zapdos unfortunately really struggles in this meta where like Lapras and Dugong and like a Alolan Graveler and Alolan Golem are present. Even against Hypno, it's not great because the confusions really add up. Thunder Punch hits for neutral there. However, Zapdos is going to hit for neutral on a lot of Pokemon, and even against like, Lapras and Dugong, you're still going to be hitting for super effective with Thunderbolt. You are very glassy, but you do output a lot of damage if you're able to get that Thunderbolt onto a Pokemon. You do need the legacy fast move of Thunder Shock to actually allow Zapdos to have some play here, because Charge Beam is terrible. Please do not run Charge Beam Zapdos. It's just really bad. You need Thunder Shock. Mew, really strong in this meta. Especially if you're running Surf and Wild Charge, which is actually the moveset that I prefer. I know at one point in time PvPoke was recommending Rock Slide because you also hit the flyers for super effective, but I like Surf because there have been more and more Alolan Golems and Alolan Gravelers popping up in the meta, and so this also hits for super effective on that, as well as having faster damage output against Alolan Marowak. So Mew can totally hang with Alolan Marowak, totally hang with Hypno. It's a Psychic that beats the other Psychic types, which is really cool. Alolan Muck is obviously very scary for Mew, but you can at least hit it with some neutral damage, very strong neutral damage of like Wild Charge or Surf. And Lapras in the lead is very bulky, has a lot of like neutral-ish matchups. Unfortunately, in a lot of sets that I ran today where I led Lapras, I encountered like a Shadow Victory Bell lead or a Shadow Machamp lead. I don't know if you all have seen Caleb Pang's new YouTube video, but his team does feature a Shadow Machamp lead. So a lot of people are leading that now because they've seen that video there. But Lapras, very bulky. There is a case to be made that you could also run Water Gun on Lapras instead of Ice Shard, but this team would struggle against a Grass lead for sure. But my thought process behind this would be like Lapras doesn't want to see a fighter in the lead, and both Mew and Zapdos can kind of hang with those fighters there. So this is kind of just a fun, interesting team that I tried out. I definitely don't think it's like super great, but it was fun to give Zapdos some play, and I was just running some new teams to try to get some YouTube content here. Wild Charge completely nukes that Golbat there. Amazing. And then I do have to shield up this Thunder Punch, and the Shadow Claws are able to Shadow Claw down that Alolan Raichu there. Lapras into Snorlax. This is a fairly neutral matchup. If the Snorlax does successfully land a superpower, it's very scary, and I'm always worried that my opponent might throw a superpower and then immediately leave, which is why I commit this early shield here. Which is unfortunate because obviously you don't need to shield up a body slam when you're that full health, but I'm always worried that my opponent might superpower and then leave, which that has happened to me before, and it leaves my Lapras with kind of minimal health. So at this point, it might be a superpower. It is. Ouch. But because it was a CMP tie, I'm going to be able to throw this Surf and take out the Snorlax. They bring in Marowak. Really heads up play on their part because I was not able to get to a Surf, so very nice farm for them. I'm going to bring in Mew. These Shadow Bones are really going to hurt. Mew does win CMP against Alolan Marowak. So I threw one more Shadow Claw, and then I'm going to throw this Surf right here. They let it go through, thank goodness. I switch in Zapdos as a sacrifice here. Ouch. And then I really want to be able to Thunder Shock that down, but they don't let it happen, and then they are able to Dragon Breath me down. If I would have gotten a Drill Peck off on this Shadow Dragon there, it really would have done a lot of damage there, but not super great. Good game. Lapras into Snorlax. A lot of Snorlax leads in this first set. So I'm just going for the Surfs here. Always trying to bluff the Skull Bash. This is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So I get super powered and then they instantly leave there, which is not great. Out comes Clefable. And I'm just trying to chip it down with these Surfs here. And then I'm able to Shadow Claw it down, which is really good for me. They still have Snorlax, which most likely comes in right now and like licks me down there. So I'm going to throw this Wild Charge immediately. I actually don't want to give them a whole lot of farm, so I want to drop my defense as quickly as possible. And at this point, I'm going to bring in Lapras because I do have a Surf stored, and I am able to get this off. They let it go through. I'm not in a good spot, though, because Zapdos is really going to struggle trying to Thunder Shock this thing down. Out comes Wigglytuff. This is just a nightmare. This is a Snorlax double charm team, which unfortunately has been picking up a lot of steam. And I say unfortunately because personally I am not a big fan of the tap teams, the fast move beatdown teams where you just tap your way to victory. The double charm is a very oppressive team for sure. Very, very strong because there's not a lot of things that keep charmers in check in this meta, especially not two charmers. So it's very powerful. I don't know if you all have encountered a double charm team yet, but it's pretty brutal. Tentacruel lead is wild, man. So I'm going to bring in Zapdos and out comes Clefable. I'm just going to go for a Drill Peck here. Does a lot of damage. If I would have landed a Thunderbolt there, that would have done an amazing amount of damage, but Drill Peck is the safer way here. I get a shield anyways. I know they have Tentacruel, which honestly, like, Lapras is so bulky, it's not even that bad of a matchup, especially if I can land a Skull Bash. So I'm going to go for a crazy aggressive farm down here because I'm assuming that they have another Charmer in the back. And so my only play here is to approach this with a lot of energy. Bring on the Wigglytuff. There it is. Another double Charmer team. The second double Charmer team I ran into in this set. So thank goodness I stored up all this energy with Mew because I'm just going to Wild Charge this little toasted marshmallow into oblivion and then bring out my Lapras. My opponent simultaneously swaps into their Tentacruel. I'm going to go straight for the Skull Bash. It does get shielded. If I would have baited there, that would have been great. But they're just going to Acid Spray me here. So I'm not going to shield up the first one. But they're able to get to another freaking Acid Spray before I can get to this Skull Bash. So I have to shield this. This is the one that'll do the most damage, and I'm going to be able to land this Skull Bash, which takes it out. Out comes the Wigglytuff, and I'm able to Ice Shard this thing down. Jeez, good game. All right, here's the next team, the final team of the video. Haunter lead. I love Haunter so much. You could also use Gengar. Unfortunately, Haunter's just very glassy, and Hypno and Alolan Muck are pretty common. So kind of tough to get Haunter to work, but this team was very, very fun. Haunter, Alolan Muck is a safe swap, and then Electrode in the back. Let's go. Electrode has access to Foul Play, which hits super effective damage on the Psychic and the Ghost types, and you have access to Discharge, so a pretty decent electric type attacker there, and electric type charge moves are largely unresisted in this cup. Not a lot of people are running grass, not a lot of people are running ground types especially, so my Alolan Muck is just absolutely going off here. My opponent did lead with a Wigglytuff. Dark Pulse does not KO me. I really don't want to get farmed here, so I'm going to throw Sludge Wave and then switch into my Electrode, and my opponent simultaneously switches a Dugong, so I will take that, absolutely. I'm able to get this Discharge off before I get debuffed, and I get a free Volt Switch through, so that's great. I'm going to shield up this first Icy Wind. I'm able to get to this Discharge right before the Dugong is able to throw a move. Not enough to take it out. Discharge is kind of a average electric type charge move. It's not like Wild Charge or something that hits for a lot of damage, but but able to farm it down there. Out comes the Alolan Muck. I'm going to throw this Discharge, and I'm able to 3-ball that game. Good game. All right, Haunter into Lapras. Not the best. I am running Sludge Bomb on Haunter here because I want the additional charm coverage. This team that I'm running here would get absolutely destroyed by the Snorlax double charm team, which again, I don't know how frequently you all have encountered that team, but it is really picking up steam because it just is so powerful. Double charm. I'm down in shields, and I got hit by a Sludge Wave here, which is just not great at all. So the Sludge Wave connects, which is good for me. I'm able to sneak in an extra Snarl. If this is a Sludge Wave, I barely survive. Barely survive. And I under tap to get this Sludge Wave off. I get the shield. All right. They still have Lapras, which my Electrode is going to have some play against. Haunter is not going to appreciate this, but I knew I had a Sludge Bomb stored, so I'm just going to throw it immediately. And they let it go. That's good for me. Out comes Hypno. This is bad for me. I really should have absorbed this confusion on my Electrode. Not great. I'm going to throw this Dark Pulse. And it does get shielded. Shadow Ball from Hypno would hit for a lot of damage, so I am worried about that. They bait me with Thunder Punch, really heads up play on their part. And then here I should have done one more Volt Switch, because as you will see, my opponent has one extra Ice Shard stored. And if I would have gotten one more Volt Switch advantage, I would have been able to get to that Discharge and take out the Lapras. Very, very, very close game. Good game there. Haunter and Hypno, this is terrible, but I'm going to throw one Shadow Claw and then safe swap the Electrode. Kind of fun. Going to throw the Foul Play here. It does get shielded. My opponent is also staying in, which is kind of strange. I do correctly shield up the Shadow Ball, so that's good for me. I continued to over farm here. People don't really have like a direct response to Electrode. The pure electric typing, nothing's really hitting you for super effective, which is very nice. There's not a lot of ground type attackers here. Maybe Electrode might make a decent safe swap. I let the Dark Pulse go through. I bring out my own Alolan Muck to get a Snarl advantage. They still have Hypno in the back, so I'm concerned. They have Snorlax, so I'm extremely concerned because my Haunter has no play against this team. Ay, ay, ay. I'm going to go straight for the Sludge Wave, and then I think I make a crazy swap into Haunter here. Nope, not yet. I'm trying to... I should try to catch a Body Slam. That would be a nice play, but I want some stored energy here. Ooh, this was a CMP tie. That's not great. I throw the Dark Pulse. And then right here. Okay, that is where I tried to catch. But my opponent was too smart. And they read me like a book. I get hit by a Thunder Punch. I'm going to be able to get this Shadow Punch off. But then the Hypno farms me. Oh no, it's actually just enough to take it out. But now the Snorlax farms me. Yikes. The Shadow Punch is double resisted. It's not enough to take out the Snorlax. And then I do have a Dark Pulse stored, and I win the CMP tie there against Snorlax. Oh my gosh, that was a crazy close game. Haunter and a Dugong, not the greatest, but I am able to get to the Sludge Bomb before the Dugong is able to get to the first Icy Wind, so just gonna go straight for it. It gets shielded, not good for me. I do get an extra Shadow Claw there, which is kind of nice. I'm going to swap into my Alolan Muck right there. We get some nice lag. By the way, one of the people in my live stream chat today suggested the idea of me going on airplane mode when I battle, and it actually solved almost all of my lag problems. I have very, very fast Wi-Fi, and I'm sitting right next to my router, but I still tended to lag when I was on Wi-Fi, and I was getting unbelievable lag when I was on LTE today as well. But when I switched to airplane mode, and obviously still connected to the Wi-Fi but on airplane mode, it actually kind of fixed my problem. So big shout out to that person. I don't know who it was. I still don't know their name because I think they left fairly soon, but big shout out to them because I've been experiencing a lot less lag now. So there is hope out there. I don't know if you all have tried that before. Try going on airplane mode and then stay on Wi-Fi to potentially fix the lag there. Discharge takes out the dugong, and then I have a discharge to throw on this Alolan Muck. Not enough to take it out. The volt switch is really adding up. And I can just shield this and the volt switch damage will be registered and I'll be able to take that game there. Good game. I think we got one more battle here in this video. Haunter into Marowak. Finally a good lead for Haunter. Poor Haunter has been getting upset at me with... Oh, wow. Dragon Breath Charizard? I don't even know why I threw energy here, and in the moment I was also asking that same question. Why the heck did I throw energy there? Should have just swapped into Electrode right away. But I'm able to burn the shield, and now I really want to farm this thing down. But because of the lag there, I was unsure of how much energy they had, so I was worried about the Blast Burn, but that was a terrible shield. I'm out of shields. That's a terrible shield. Out comes the Alolan Marowak. I do have 2 foul plays stored. There goes the first. And gonna throw the second here. And it does get shielded. So I'm just gonna switch into Haunter so to avoid being farmed down. Haunter's gonna get sacked here, but that's fine. Because now I can bring out my Alolan Muck and farm this down. But they switch into their Ninetales, shiny Kanto Ninetales. That's a pretty nice flex. I'm just going straight for the Sludge Wave here. It's not enough to KO. And then I get hit by Overheat, which sucks. And then here I literally forgot that they had a third Pokemon, but I should have farmed this down. I should have farmed it down because look, out comes the Alolan Marowak, and then totally could have won if I farmed it down. But thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what spicy teams you have been running. This Kanto Cup is pretty wide open. There's a decent amount to pick from, and so kind of running this off-meta stuff is kind of fun. But make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you appreciate the content. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.